All right, guys. Rich Schnyderite here from the Night Report. I'm joined by Chris Nalwasky, our beat writer. We're gonna talk some Rutgers hoops now. It's almost time for tip-off. We got a couple days until we're recording this Monday afternoon, so you got a couple days until tip-off against Sacred Heart Wednesday night. I think 7 p.m. it was.
Yeah, BTM plus.
BTM plus. If you don't have it, I probably recommend getting it, especially with this season. It's going to be weird. A lot of games are going to be probably streamed on there out of conference, I would assume.
Yeah.
But all right.
And plus, you're all at home anyway, no fans or that. So
of course.
it's definitely a good time for it to get it if you want.
Yeah. So let's get this thing started. Let's talk a little Rutgers basketball. Chris, I know you just put out an article on Jacob Young. You put one out on Caleb McConnell. You're killing it right now with content. Just talk a little bit about the team this year and what you kind of expect from them.
Yeah, they're ranked in the preseason, first time since 78, 79 season. That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, they probably would have made the NCAA tournament last year. The bulk of the team is back. They're going to miss Caleb McConnell. They're going to miss Yabo from last year. But, overall, they're just a still really solid team. They're, Pico was talking about how, they're shooting better. I know Pico never likes their defense, but they're going to be a good defensive team. They were good last year. He said better, so if they could be better, then that's pretty bad for other teams in the Big Ten. Joe Baker's still around. He's the leader of the team. You have a lot of good guards. Just overall good team. I'm sure we'll dive into it individually a little more. But
yeah. So I guess I want to start talking about the defense a little bit. You just mentioned Pikel's never happy with it, regardless of how well they played. I did like a little deep dive into the numbers, and we're going to post that later this week. It's a little comparison piece between Sacred Heart and Rutgers, and then it's going to be FDU and Rutgers, so on. We're going to try to do it throughout the season, but they held opposing teams to 38% field goal percentage. That's 8th best in the nation, and this man's still not happy. That's I couldn't get over looking at that number, and then if you're just going based off 2-point percentage, they held teams to 43% from twos, which is 11th best in the country. It's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's just the numbers are insane defensively, and just for him not to be – I mean, he's definitely happy about it, but he won't admit it.
Yeah, no coach says the team's perfect, so.
Yeah, of course.
But it's insane. Montez Mathis, great on-ball defender. Jacob Young, great on-ball defender. Miles Johnson got better. Cliff O'Murray, freshman. We'll see what he can do at the college level, but he was really good in high school defensively. Yeah. Overall, they just got a lot better over the years on defense.
Ron Harper, Big Ten. I think it was Rothstein that put him that Big Ten defender or preseason defender or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Another defender. Miles Johnson obviously gets blocks quite a bit. I think you're going to see Cliff O'Murray be a heck of a defender too. I think I saw him last year against who was it? The Patrick School, of course. Okay. Triple-double with 10 blocks. It's insane. I mean, you might not see that at the college level or even maybe not. You never know, actually, I guess, at this point. But the defense is incredible. They're lengthy. I think that's the best part about their team, and that's why they're such a good defensive team. You have 6'4" point guard Gio, 6'7" now point guard Paul Mulcahy.
Yeah, according to Pico, 6'7" now.
It's crazy to think that your point guard might actually be taller than your power forward.
Yeah, and then you bring in a Mag freshman.
Yeah, he has a pretty long wingspan.
Like I said, the length before. So
yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And then so I mean, just talking about defense, someone actually brought it up before on the boards I was reading. They said Jacob Young's literal chest is over the ball when he's defending guys. I didn't really notice it until I started going back to a couple highlights and. It's actually super impressive how good he is defensively. It's very underrated. I know everyone talks about Montez when they talk about guards and defensively because he's probably your stopper for the most part, I would say. But just Jacob Young's defensive abilities are through the roof, and I'm sure he kind of gets that from having an older brother that played in the league for who knows how long, and now he's in China. I think he was almost MVP in China, or if not, he was putting up 40-point games in China, which this man deserves a chance in the league. But regardless,
with Young, man, he's just he's super quick, so he can stay in front of everybody. So
yeah, his footwork's pretty good too. He knows how to shuffle his feet very well. I know it's college, so I mean everyone should know how to shuffle their feet, but at the same time, there's some guys that still stumble on their own two left foot, two right foot, whatever you want to call it. It's but overall defense incredible. I think it's only going to get better. I know you lost Caleb, who's a pretty good defender also, but like we said, you gained Mag, who's lengthy. I forget what his exact wingspan was, but I know it was something ridiculous. Paul, another year in the program, he looks a lot bigger.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of the most improved players this year.
A lot stronger. He's already had the vision. He's had we know that, incredible vision. He's been solid overall from, like, I guess that little in the paint type of floater he has.
Right.
He's still got to work on his outside shot, I'm sure. It was okay last year. We didn't see much. We haven't seen anything this year. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun team. I see all the projections. I see 4th in the Big Ten, 5th in the Big Ten, and you think, like, this is a very good conference. I think there's 7 teams ranked, I believe, in preseason.
Something like that. Yeah, there's a lot. And Pike always talks about how it's the best league in the country, so he's not wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible to look at that. But going back to Jacob Young a little bit, I want to talk about his offense too. So right now, technically, I guess we thought Caleb McConnell was going to step in, be that 3, and fill in the Quasi-Yeboah role. Obviously, sitting out the season, maybe not. Who knows? Never know. He kind of hinted a little bit. You never know. He might come back. I doubt it, obviously. But
I don't think so.
No, I don't either. But let him heal up. Anyway, going back to Jacob. So he only technically averaged – actually, that's his career. What did he average last year?
8.5 points per game, what the league was.
So, yeah, 8.5 last year. He shot 41 from the field.
Yeah.
3-point percentage struggled a little bit, only 27, but I guess you'll pick that up. 2 turnovers in 20 minutes. It's not horrible.
He had a lot of turnovers a lot earlier when he first started in the non-conference. His numbers against Big Ten competition they all went up.
Of course. Yeah, I'm looking at the conference one right now. But just looking at, like, his per 40, because I guess for people that don't know this, I kind of explained it before, I guess, to you and to other people too. So you use, like, per 40 is like per 40 minutes. There's stats based on that. It's a lot of it's used for a lot of backups that are going to go into a starter role. The NBA uses per 36 based on, obviously, 36 minutes. But looking at Jacobs per 40, he would average 17, 32% from 3, 42% overall. So you average 17, 5, 3, 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he's your starter. I think from the get-go, out of conference games, at the very least, he's your starter until you get to play those bigger teams in the Big Ten. I think he's going to fit in pretty well. My only concern is who's your spark off the bench now.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't even give you a name, honestly. Maybe can Paul be a spark off the bench? Scoring wise, probably not. Playmaking ability, yeah. I mean, passing, playmaking, he could definitely do that. Do you move? Is Oscar Palmquist good enough to be a spark off that bench, even though he's like kind of like a big man type 3-4 guy? I don't know if he is. I think that's the question. Or do you just keep Jacob on the bench and kind of just let him rock with what he's doing? He's been a great 6 man. He gives you that energy, that crazy tenacious defense. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I see him coming off the bench still. I don't know. I mean, like you said, maybe they mix and match lineups. You know, in the non-conference first couple games, a lot of the Big Ten teams are, you know, overall bigger. But you know, I think he did really well last year coming off the bench. He's, you know, like you said, instant offense. I think you know, he's like, I would say maybe better than a lot of team starters. So if you bring in, you know, fresh legs off the bench and he hounds you on defense, he gets to the 10, like it'll just wear out, you know, opposing teams. And I don't know. I think his role was perfect for him, to be honest.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Like I said, I don't think there's really another option for that 6 man type of player. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Paul could develop into a very good shooter. Oscar could be a very, very good player from everything we've heard and talked about, even seen on tape, I guess, even in his high school careers. Let's go back to, let's see what else we have. Is this the year we get a full, knock on wood, a full season of Geo Baker?
Yeah.
I know he's had his injury struggles. I guess technically he's only been injured last year, but he's played through injuries, I'm sure. Started 19 out of the 28 games he appeared in. took a little dip in points per game. He dropped down from 12.2 to 10.9. It happens. He shot like 2 less shots per game, but his percentage was up overall. He's 39.9%. We'll give him 40% at that point. The 3-point percentage, oh man.
Yeah, he struggled from deep a little bit last year.
Yeah, but the 28% overall is just not. It's not going to cut it. That's going to have to take another jump. I do think you're going to call me crazy for this. I do think actually I shouldn't say that. I do think Gio could play professional ball after the season. I don't know about NBA level, but I do think he's a very good guard. I think he could very easily play overseas.
Yeah, I mean he's proven a lot of people wrong. So he's gotten incrementally better.
Yeah.
Last 4 years. So
yeah, between him and Jacob as this,
he's a leader. Like he's obviously he's gonna have probably most likely have the ball again at the end of games and
of course
close things out. So
yeah, I found it interesting when we talked to them on media day that Jacob kind of said it depends how this season goes if he comes back or not.
Yeah, that was an interesting quote. Yeah,
it's intriguing because I think he could be a very good player, and I don't know if he's gonna have to take that leap if he wants to go anywhere at that point. I know he has the NBA bloodlines with his brother, but he still has to take that leap. The shooting percentages, the 3-point percentage just isn't there yet. But the defense is there. The offense could be there. And I think he's got to stop being sometimes he gets on that court, he gets a little erratic, he gets a little nuts. And that's where these turnovers are coming from. Yep. I think there was one game he had like 4 turnovers in a matter of like 10, 12 minutes, whatever it was exactly. But, yeah, overall, those 2 guards should be interesting this year. But the guy I expect to take the biggest leap, and I think you can kind of agree with this, I really think Ron Harper Jr. is going to take a big leap this year. I think he'll have NFL. I think he'll have NBA scouts all over him. He's got the build. But I think he'll have NBA scouts all over him this year. If you look between 2018 or 2019 and 2020 seasons, whatever you want to call them, he went from 7.8 to leading the team with 12.1 points. He went from 3 rebounds to 6 rebounds a game. Like if he can just get those numbers up a little bit more, this team is going to be very, very good. He has a deep ball. We've seen it. Inconsistent at times, yes, but he has a deep ball. He shot like 32, I think it was, 31% from 3 last year.
From deep, or 35%.
Oh, even better than I thought, actually. So, I mean, he's got the deep ball. He's got the scoring ability. I know he plays that 4 role, or he played that 4 role technically last year. That's where it gets interesting. Does he still play that role this year? I'd say yes, but obviously you're not a 4 at the next level. But that's a given. But I still think he plays that 4 role. I think you'll have Oscar probably come in and spell him for a couple minutes at times. I even think you'll see Mawat Mag at the 4 a couple times. I know he's got guard capabilities, but he's got, like you said, that length. I forget his exact wingspan, but that wingspan was something ridiculous, I believe. His effective field goal percentage is pretty interesting too. Is that it's 50.2%. So it's just these stats are really good, and if he could take that leap, this team could go far.
And like you mentioned before, he's a good defender too. And he's just an all-around player. I mean, he takes every once in a while he'll take the ball up the court in fast breaks and either pass it or make a move and score. So he's overall a good player.
I mean that 1 assist per game, it's very skewed. I think he has a lot better passing abilities than what the stats show, and then stuff like that won't show up obviously on the box score. But a very, very good player. He's overall, he's got everything about him. So if he can just take that next leap, and if he built a little more muscle, which it looks like he did this year, and on top of all that, we keep forgetting his dunking abilities.
Yeah.
This man was getting up for quite a bit of alley-oops, whether it's the half court ones or just a normal alley-oop to start the game. It's a big momentum changer too, and I'm kind of intrigued. I want to keep going with this momentum thing. Momentum, ironic, whatever. I want to keep going with this, and how much momentum I know they mentioned it in the pressers that they want to keep the momentum going for the team, and that's how it's big on how they're going to win games, but how much momentum can you get from no fans at all? I know they got pumping crowd noise, obviously, and that's going to be, I hate it personally, but
it's going to be a lot different. Absolutely.
So it's going to be intriguing. I saw a picture. I don't know if you've seen it yet. RU Athletics tweeted out, Instagram, all that stuff.
Oh, with the cutouts and stuff?
The cutouts. There's a couple dogs in the front row. I think that's a little distracting at times, but I'm intrigued to see how this works because I'm just this is just me talking about high school basketball going back, but like when you go to like the local YMCA or the local court, everyone tends to just take the game stupid and take it like as a street ball game, and you just mess around. This guy's ball hogging. This guy just doesn't care. This guy's chucking up whatever. And I think without fans, some teams might have that mentality. Unless you're very well coached, I still think like without having like the fans, you're going to take it like a practice mentality. You're going to be like, yeah, this doesn't matter. But in reality, it does obviously. It's just going to be weird. I think the better coached teams are the ones that are going to be more prepared for this type of environments. But I'm talking nonsense now, but it's just
it's definitely interesting
it's
because
interesting.
They went like 18-1 at home last year. They fed off the energy of the crowd, and like you said, they started off a lot of the games with the alley oops to kind of get the crowd up already, and so it's definitely interesting. You know, a lot of them, in the media they mentioned that it'll be like practice. There'll be obviously no fans, not a lot of people there. It'll be interesting to see. I know a lot of the football teams. There's obviously no fans there, and doesn't really affect the game too much. But at the same time, you still don't have to travel or anything. So the home there should still be some form of home field. Home
I still think at the end of the day, defense will travel, and like people keep forgetting that this Rutgers team, like who they beat? Purdue at the end? I think it was last year. It was Purdue and Maryland, I think, actually too.
This picture was after the Maryland game.
All right, yeah. I know. Those are two very good teams, and they managed to beat both of them in the season. And Purdue was away at a Purdue environment that is not easy to play at whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and it's not like some of their losses on away games weren't as bad as people think. Like you beat Nebraska away, but Nebraska's awful. But you're losing to a very good Illinois team by 3.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to a very good Iowa team, very, very good Iowa team, which they're winning the Big Ten this year.
If I had a pick, they'd be my pick too.
Only lost to them by 5.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I hate to bring it up, the Michigan game. It is what it is, 6-point loss. At Maryland, went to that one last year. They had a couple ups and downs. They didn't have Jacob Young for that game either, which was a big loss. Lost by 5.
Michigan won. That was at MSG too.
Yeah, Maryland lost by 5. Ohio State, who's always a solid team, very well coached, lost by 6.
Yeah,
they're right there, like every single game. Like the Penn State one at the end of the year, lost by 1. Like it's not like they did.
I the heartbreaker one. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. I know. I hate that. Like, my friends are all big college hoops fans, and I can't talk to them because they're all UNC fans, and it just annoys the hell out of me. I'm like, you guys are so biased, and they're like, yeah, well, you cover a team that only wins at home, and I'm like, yeah, but like if you look at their other games, the away games, like they're still very competitive, right. So it's not like as crazy as it sounds to be like that. They're going to have a very good season. I think. I really think they're going to win a lot more away games. That's obvious.
Yeah, I mean, there's no fans. That obviously helps with the away, atmosphere too. So
yeah, so it's going to be interesting. So let's take a look at this schedule real quick. Right now we have Sacred Hearts comes to the Rack on Wednesday, 7 p.m. We talked about this. BTN Plus. If you don't have it, get it. It's the Sacred Heart team's bad. I did a little research on them. They're not good. They lost three people to transfer. They lost. I can't pronounce any of their names at all. It's EJ Anoski. He transferred to Tennessee. They lost Ozier, I believe his name is. I just saw it too. I think his name was Ozier, if I pronounced that correct. Kareem Ozier. Hold on, I got it right here.
Are you talking about transfers or on the team?
This is who they lost. That's two of their top 3 scorers. Okay. Kareem Ozie. They lost both of them. EJ obviously is a very good player. Anoski, he's going to Tennessee, so I mean, he's going to play SEC ball. To make that jump from Sacred Heart to SEC is huge. Kareem, I think, went to ULM, Louisiana Monroe. Still better than Sacred Heart. And they also lost a kid named Cam Parker, who I was looking through his game logs. Not the best in the world, not the worst. Had a 24 assist game.
Wow, 20. Wow.
Yeah. Regardless, you just lost, like, they said somewhere around, I was talking to one of the SHU student newspaper guys who's going to actually be posting a Q&A with us very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost 75% of their scoring from last season. This team was number 3 in their postseason tournament. I think it's the Northeast Conference.
Mm-hmm.
They're right now projected to be 14th in that conference. That would be last. They're awful. It's a good warm-up for Rutgers. They should dominate them. I think their tallest guy's 6'7". Miles should have a field day. Ron should have a field day going against a 6'5", 6'6",
Mm-hmm.
skinny power forward. That's a freshman.
And I think going back to your Jacob Young thing, I think this is a game where you'll see maybe him starting.
Yeah. So like I said, I think he'll start in the out-of-conference games just because they're usually smaller. They're usually guard riddled. Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting. They don't even know. Like I said, I was talking to the student newspaper guy, and he said he doesn't even know if all the kids are back from the COVID protocols.
Okay.
Said most of the team's back, but he's not sure who's back and who's not yet. So see what happens there. They added a JUCO center / forward. I mean, he's 6'7". He's their tallest guy. He's a very good defender, apparently. Very athletic. This should be a blowout.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it.
All right. So what's the okay? So what's the how many points they're going to score against Rutgers?
See, now this is the weird part. I think I looked at it yesterday. They didn't play since 2014. When they played in 2014, they only scored. I think Rutgers only scored like 18 more points than them in the second half. And the first half was like a little like, but they Rutgers still ended up winning by I think like 18-20 area around there. I do think this is arguably one of the best Rutgers teams in recent history. Not being biased at all, but just looking based off numbers, based off who they have, who's returning, based off last season, if you want to even go there. I think this is like a 30-point win. Okay. I think you're going to see like an 80-50, 85-35, or what am I saying? 85-55. I think you'll get like I'll say 25 to 30 point win. I don't think this team is very good. If you look at their net rankings or KenPom, they're in the 300s, like 330s, 320s around there.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think they're good at all.
Okay. Like, I'll go Rutgers keeps them under 40 or around 40.
I think that's very possible too. Just looking, they're starting a true freshman at power forward.
Mm-hmm.
Tough. They've returned one of their top 3 scorers, one of their like top 6 scorers.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and Aaron Clark, who's actually not a bad guard. He's just small, inconsistent. But let's see who's next. FDU. I didn't really look too deep into the FDU team, but I did a little bit of research, and they're in the like 250s, 260s in the net rankings. I don't think they're a good team by any means. I hate to say it, in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually
obviously Team Rutgers should win handily against.
So looking at their net ranking from last year was 281, 11-win team. The cool part is that they're a weird 11-win team. So they're 11 wins last year. They went 11-19, but if I looked at this right, I think I am. They went 9-0 in conference.
There you go.
So it's like, all right, yeah, you're good for your conference, but like you're awful when you play anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I got to double check on that.
I'm sure they played, obviously bigger schools and whatnot. So.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, I did that wrong. I take it back. They're 7-5 in conference last year. I got to fix that, but okay. Ignore me. Still pretty good. Middle pack NEC team last year. Let's see. They're bringing back 4 of their 5 starters, returning 10 players total. That's what I found interesting. 2 all NEC Northeast Conference players. Joel Jenkins, Elijah Williams, both forwards, I believe. They averaged 28 points per game last season, just those 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good little early season test for Rutgers. It's still not going to – Rutgers has more scoring, more talent, better defense, better rebounding, just better overall team. But I think it's a nice little test to just get it started, get it going before you play who knows on Sunday. Right. So, I mean, I'm still going to go – like if you really want to go with a prediction again, I'm still going to go with – it's probably like a 25-point win, 20-point win.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go with 20 just because they're a little bit better than Sacred Heart. And that combo of those forwards, they're all NEC players, so it's not like they're bad players by any means.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're a little bit taller than Sacred Heart if I looked at the roster correct.
Yeah, the good thing, one thing Rutgers has to do is not get into their shooting and scoring droughts that they're accustomed to.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but I think they'll be fine. I think there's enough scoring on the team now that they'll be perfectly fine.
I don't say it's a problem, but
I hate to say
college basketball in 2020. So
I know, yeah. Again, it's 2020. Anything can happen, but they're going 2-0 to start the season.
Right.
3-0, I think is very possible. I think we don't know for sure, but it was projected to be Rider on either the 29th or the 30th. But we know the games, whoever they play, is on that Sunday, which is the 30th, I believe. Who knows who it's going to be? I did the due diligence of thinking it was going to be Rider, so I did, again, a little bit of research on all these teams. They got voted last in their conference poll. They're in that Mid-Atlantic Athletic Conference, the MAAC.
Okay.
They went 18-12 last year. Not bad. 185 net ranking. That's pretty good for a Rider, low major program.
Yeah, a good team like Rider, yeah.
The issue is they lost so much. They have 12 newcomers. 7 of them are freshmen. It's not the same team. It's definitely a rebuilding year for that Rider Bronco program. I actually followed Rider quite a bit over the past couple of seasons. My cousin played for them as a walk-on a season ago. I forget what it was.
I know that.
Yeah, he ended up transferring to Stockton, so he's playing D3 ball now. But they're a fun little team. They're not bad. But losing that many players is going to hurt. They lost a couple guys to transfer. I forget where exactly they went, but 12 newcomers is not easy at all. And when 7 of them are freshmen, you have to play freshmen, I guess. So it's another blowout win. Ken Palm has them at 288 right now. It's if you're not winning these games by 20 points, there's something wrong. So I don't know if you want to chime in on that one. There's just it's a bad team.
Okay, yeah.
And the only other confirmed game is Syracuse.
Yeah. I believe there was a report that Rutgers might be playing Wagner.
I did forget about that.
I believe it was.
Yeah, there was a report about Wagner. I didn't really look at their team at all because it never was
It's too early, I guess. It's days away.
So even if that one, that's still probably about a week or so away. They probably wouldn't play till next Wednesday, if I had to guess.
I think it was the 2nd. So
So what is that? A Wednesday? Yeah.
Next Wednesday.
So yeah, they're looking at their team. Oh yikes! Another NEC team. Great. 8-21 last year. One of the worst scoring teams in the league. One of the worst defenses apparently in the country. Giving up 76.2 points per game. That's good for 322nd out of 353 teams. Very close to the worst defensive rated team in the country last year. I don't even know who the heck did they beat. That's what I'm impressed by. A couple New Jersey guys on the team as usual. All these NEC teams.
I was checking out their schedule, and they only have the conference games listed.
Who's that? NEC? NEC?
They only had the conference in there so far.
Yeah, not for sure. They lost to Seton Hall last year by 34. It's the same team that Rutgers beat by 20. Lost to Penn State by almost 30. There's another very, very easy win. Don't overdo it. Don't do anything dumb. Take the game as it is. Take them as serious as any other opponent. Play the game, win it, get out of there as quick as possible. But, going back to the Syracuse team, intriguing. Very intriguing team. I know they definitely lost. Who did they lose? They lost their leading scorer, who I think actually just was picked in the NBA draft. I think late first or early second. I forget where he went. Yeah, Elijah Hughes.
Yeah, you're right.
I remember watching and I remember saw it pop up, and I was like, oh, look at that, man. Utah Jazz. There you go. Let's see what round. 39th pick, so very early second round pick. He was their leading scorer last year. But they still returned 2 of their other top 3 leading scorers in Buddy Boeheim. Everyone knows him, son of Jim. 15.3 points per game. Dangerous. Very, very dangerous player. On top of that, they also return. Who's the other one? Oh, Joseph Girard, one of the top-ranked recruits, I think, in recent Syracuse history. I think he was a high four-star.
I could see that being a tough game for Rutgers because obviously we know that Rutgers in recent years has been the best shooting team, and obviously Syracuse has their zone defense. I think this is a game where Paul McKahee could play a lot and kind of be that facilitator in the middle of the paint, middle of the zone.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to shoot well in that game and obviously rebound as well.
I think it's going to come down to the guard play. We talked about their defensive abilities and Mathis and Jacob and even Gio at that point. And Paul Mulcahy, too, is not a bad defender. Overall, those two are the guards. There's a 6'1" Buddy Boeheim who's, like I said, 15 points per game, 40% field goal percentage, 37 from three, takes 8 threes a game. You're going to have to defend that perimeter. If you're not defending that perimeter against him, and then even Girard takes 7 threes per game. So it's definitely a 3-point shooting team. You're going to have to defend that perimeter. If you can do that, you should walk away with a win. On top of that, right now, I think they're number 29 in the KenPom. I don't know what their net ranking will be technically when they get to Rutgers, as they obviously have to play a couple games too. But this has the potential for a quad 1 victory for the Scarlet Knights. So, I mean, and that's going to be big because I hate to say it, this out-of-conference schedule is awful.
Yeah. Well, a lot of teams are also playing more local.
I know, but like at the same time, you should still I hate to say it, but I know people don't want to hear it. Rutgers needs Seton Hall more than Seton Hall needs Rutgers right now. They need to get them on the schedule. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what the deal is with them. Maybe they are dodging Rutgers a little bit. Maybe they're not. Who knows what the deal is? I know they're waiting on, I think, the Big East schedule to come out.
Yeah,
which again, this season starts Wednesday. These things should be out. They should have been out, but whatever. The Big Ten released theirs last week. I think every other conference besides the Big East might have theirs out at this point.
I mean, if you have to move the game, you move the game, but
there's clearly some gaps. Like even in the Big Ten schedule, you saw gaps in January and February. I think it was. There's gaps for them to play, but going back to Syracuse, you need this win. You really, really need this win if you're Rutgers and you want. I know the Big Ten conference is going to get you a bunch of quad 1, quad 2 victories, and there's always like the Penn States of the world who give you that quad 4 victory.
It's at the rack too, so it's good to play. An old Big East rival there.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch at least. They did add a couple pieces this year too. I was looking at the recruiting class. Kadari Robinson, Richmond. I'm sorry, I'm reading that completely wrong. Number 87 overall recruit, number 126 overall recruit, and Woody Newton, and then Frank Anselm, who if you guys watched Mawat Mag at all last year prior to his injury, he was a center on this team with Mawat over at Prolific Prep. He's the number 27 overall center in the class. So, I mean, they added some good pieces. Could be a quad 1 win. You got to get this. This has to be looked at as a must win for Rutgers if you want to make it somewhere this year. Other than that, we could talk Seton Hall, but I don't think they're that good of a team this year either. I hate to say it.
They still have a lot of pieces back from last year, but definitely no Miles Powell is definitely a big difference there. But
yeah, I think Mamu is going to be a very good player for them. He was a good stretch forward for them last year. I think he averaged like 12. I think he missed the Rutgers game if I recall.
He didn't play that again.
He didn't play, so I mean that definitely hurts them a little bit. But they got Bryce. They lost Miles Powell, who undrafted free agent to the Knicks. Go Nets! Just throwing it out there. They added Bryce Aiken though, who's arguably one of the top transfers in the country. Miles Kale's back, who averaged, I forget what the heck he averaged 7 points per game last year. They have a couple shooters. They don't have a bad team at all.
No, they're obviously a good team. They're gonna probably
they'll make some noise. I don't think they're coming anywhere close to the Big East winning it all. And I think, I don't know, let's check it out real quick. I hate to keep pausing, but Villanova, Creighton, whatever you want to call them, Marquette, Seton Hall, and then Providence right behind Seton Hall, UConn right behind them, Butler right behind them, Xavier. I think it's a good Big East conference this year. But Villanova and Creighton are going to be the top 2 probably. Seton Hall probably 3 or 4. So I mean, they're not a bad team. They'll probably make the as long as they play well, they'll probably make the tournament again.
Mm-hmm.
But like you got to get them on the schedule. You need that quad 1, 2, whatever it is at that point. I don't even know where the game would even be played. Would it still be played at Seton Hall?
I think well, the Rutgers was home last year, so probably Transfer Center or somewhere.
Either that or I think they're gonna have a couple games at the Walsh Gym this year over at Seton Hall's campus. It's not big, but at the same time, if you're not having fans, who cares?
Yeah.
Just play at your home campus. I find it amazing that they didn't build a bigger stadium there, arena, whatever you want to call it.
So one thing I wanted to ask, I'm sure we could talk about Big Ten games when they come, but who is for Rutgers? Who's your MVP or whatever you want to call it?
MVP. I think I kind of gave it away already. It's Ron. Ron's gonna go big time. I think if Ron has a good enough season, he could get drafted. That's me being like a little bit of watching him and being maybe a homer a little bit, but I do think Ron's a very good player. I think if he continues to develop, he has a very easy shot at the NBA. I think he'll be. I'm not saying guaranteed first rounder. I'm not saying guaranteed anything. But if he keeps developing, keeps getting his scoring ability up, he's a heck of a defender. Just keep doing that. Sky's the limit for him. He's only a junior, and technically this year doesn't even count. So it's incredible. His progression has been nuts. He's lost weight / gain muscle. Not every single offseason so far. You could see it in the pictures. I'm going to try to throw a little clip in here also. I'm sure we have something of him dunking or shooting or something. Yeah, I think he's got to be the team MVP if we're going to do that.
Okay.
I don't know. Who do you got?
I'm going Geo Baker still. I'm going with Geo Baker. You can't go wrong with
the safe pick.
Geo Baker there.
Yeah, very safe pick. Great talent. I mean, there's nothing else that needs to be said. Everyone knows his scoring capabilities. Guys clutch as it could be, and that's plays a big factor. And overall,
I think that he improves his 3-point shooting percentage this year. I think he's too good of his form is too smooth to for it to be that low for a second year in a row.
I know that's something you got to deal with. But the coolest thing I saw, like I love numbers. If you couldn't tell by now, I love stats. I love looking at all the in-depth stuff. The most interesting thing I saw is that Gio went from 3 turnovers in 2018-19 to only 1.8. I know it's still probably more than he'd like to admit, but
it's huge though. That's huge.
It's a big difference considering. And I know if you couldn't tell by now, we had a little cut in our action. I'm not gonna lie, my laptop's the worst thing in the world. I hate it right now. But anyway, we were talking about your MVP, Geo Baker.
Yep.
I know you mentioned. He's the safe pick for Rutgers MVP this year. Very good player. Anything else you want to add to that before we go on to the next part?
No, I mentioned he's obviously going to be a leader of the team again. He has a smooth shooting stroke. Obviously good defensive player still. I just think he's going to take a next step this season, and want to get Rutgers in the forefront of college basketball and raise the expectations again. So
yeah, so that should be interesting. Now, but this is going to be a cool one. I don't know how much tape you've seen on these guys or how much. I know you watched Cliff, and I think you've watched a couple of the other ones. Who's going to be the most talented freshman this year? There's only 4 to pick from technically. So,
I'm gonna go Oscar Palmquist. He was maybe that's kind of like a safe pick also because he was there last year. But I think obviously he has the length. I think he has a lot of international experience, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I think he's super athletic. He can shoot the ball. I think he's going to surprise a lot.
Yeah, I honestly, I think I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. I've heard, we talked about it. We've heard about Oscar in practice. We heard he's super freaky athletic. I'm so eager to see how high he can actually jump because I've heard stories about it already. Catching alley-oops in practice, throwing down tomahawks apparently. I love dunkers. I'm very eager to, I think everyone does, but I'm very eager to see how much of a bounce he has. I know I was very high on Mac McClung back when he was committed to Rutgers. I love the bounce that some of these kids have, and it's just incredible. I think he could be a very talented player. He has a 3-point shot based on his film. Overall, he's tall, he's lengthy. He kind of gives you a different type of body than Ron will at the 4.
Yeah.
Ron's more that bigger body that will ignore the fire alarm in the background. It's so he's intriguing. He's a very intriguing player. I think he'll be a very safe pick when it comes to the freshmen. I still think Cliff's going to have a heck of a year.
Mm-hmm.
I know his offensive abilities are a little capped still, and we'll see how well he can, adjust, I should say, to the college game. And then even Mawot Mag. I think Mawot Mag's going to be a nice 3-and-D guy. I think he'll play some serious minutes for you, either filling in for Mathis at the 2 or playing a 3 or even the 4 at some points maybe. This is truly positionless basketball, and I don't think a lot of people understand that still. There's no such thing as like the old traditional 6'1" to 6'3" point guard, 6'4" to 6'6" shoot. No, that's not how it works anymore. You have a 6'7" Paul Mulcahy that could play 1, 2, 3. You have Geo Baker that could play 1, 2, maybe. Probably not 3. We'll stick away from that one.
No, I think he's a 1, 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Jacob Young 1, 2. Even guard 3s though. Oscar Palmquist can play 3, 4. Who else? I'm trying to think. Mawot Mag can go 2, 3, 4. Reber can go 4, 5. He can shoot supposedly pretty well. We haven't seen it yet technically, but you could get like a really big lineup going if you really wanted to. But
you could have Paul at point guard and then.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could technically see lineups where this is why I kind of was hoping Caleb would play, because I'd be intrigued to see this lineup. I'd be intrigued to see like Paul, or even we'll go Geo 1, Paul 2, Caleb 3, play 2 Twin Towers down low, play like either Cliff and Miles. I know it kind of caps your offensive ability a lot with when you add Paul and then those 2, or even put like Reber at the 4, and he could have a guy lineup that doesn't have anyone shorter than 6'5". It's ridiculous.
I think especially early on, they'll tinker and get a lot of rotations in there. So it's
going to be fun to watch. It's going to be very intriguing. Everything we've heard about this team is that they have potential to go far. I hate to put these expectations on these guys, but like it's a very good basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have the expectations to do it. I wrote an article. I didn't post it yet, but they all kept saying they want to win a national championship. Gio talked about not only getting to the tournament but winning games in the tournament. That's gonna be huge if they can do that.
That's another thing that bothers me. I wish they would have stayed against. I know Baylor's backing out of all these things, and they're not doing like I don't know what their issue is. It's something with testing, I believe. But that just to play Baylor would have been intriguing to see, because that's like the litmus test to see if you're actually a national tournament or national championship team, because that's probably number 2, I think, in the country right now from Baylor.
I don't remember, but I know they're up there. I know Baylor is number 1 in KenPom.
Yeah, so they're a very good team, but regardless, they're not playing them, so it doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think this team could go far. I think you'll see a top 5 finish in the Big Ten. I know it's probably, I'd probably say around there. I think most people I looked at are picking 4 or 5. I'm going to go 5, be safe a little bit. Any thoughts there, I guess?
Yeah, so I think I know we obviously, we're lucky enough to have a ballot, but I think I would have Rutgers at 6. I know they were picked 5th, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Pleiko's going to probably still say, we were picked 12th last year. Don't worry about this year. But I think Iowa's up there. Iowa and Illinois are up there. You always have Wisconsin and Michigan State. And I think Michigan is still going to be ahead of Rutgers this year.
That's the one I question a little bit. I know they return, I think, for the most part, their entire team, that Michigan program. And they kind of have Rutgers' number a little bit. So, I mean, that's going to be tough. But
I know they won't have Simpson at point guard, but they recruit well. So.
Yeah, I think you'll see some big wins, though. I don't think
they frustrated Rutgers with their style last year in the bigs.
Yeah, it's a little irritating. Their bigs are just lengthy and can shoot from just about anywhere. I know the younger, I think it's Ignatius' brother, right? Berdakis.
I know they have Mo Wagner's brother.
That's what. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Fran Wagner.
I was trying to think. I said it.
Regardless, apparently they're using him as a 2. He's like, again, back to position with basketball. I think he's 6'8", 6'7". It's ridiculous. Looking at the other teams in the Big Ten, Northwestern looks bad. Nebraska looks bad again. Minnesota, I don't even know if they're going to keep Richard Pitino after this season. Maryland lost their two bigs well, they actually technically lost just Jalen Smith. It was Bruno on the team last year. I don't remember. Regardless, I don't think he was. I think Bruno, whatever. Jalen Smith, he's the top 10 pick. Very good player. You're probably a little happy about that one. The Phoenix Suns and everything.
Actually, at number 10. So
yeah, Anthony Cowan, they're one of their best guards, one of the best players in the Big Ten last year, gone. They'll be okay. I don't think they'll be good. Penn State's going to be weird. They don't have Pat Chambers anymore. He got just I don't even know the term.
And Lamar
fired.
And Lamar Stevens is gone too, right?
Yeah, he's gone. He signed somewhere in NBA recently, I saw. Okay. They also lost Mike Watkins, who was another big player for them. They do return I forget his name. It's Miles Dredd and Myrion Dredd or Myrion Jones.
Myrion Jones?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's it. I just don't know how to pronounce it. I can't pronounce names for anything, but so they'll be okay.
I'm bad with the opposing teams rosters. I'll be honest.
I'm just going through them all. Purdue lost Matt Harms to BYU. Jacob Young dunked him out of the Big Ten completely. Noel Eastern ended up at Howard, so that's going to be tough. They do have some players. They're a very good, very well coached team. I like that. I always like Purdue.
Wisconsin. Yeah, you can never sleep on them.
Ohio State, again, like I said before, very well coached team. I think they have C.J. Walker back. They got Seth Towns too. They got the other Harvard kid, so he's pretty good. Who else? Indiana, like you said, always pretty good. They still have the Jackson Davis kid. I think so.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
He's always a problem.
He was named first team All Big Ten in preseason.
Yeah, he's always a problem. Trying to think. This Rutgers, of course.
Indiana also has a freshman.
They added someone very good, didn't they?
Yeah, there's a freshman that garnered votes, Christian Lander.
Yes, yeah, that was actually a very good pickup for them. I forget exactly what his ranking is. I don't know if you have it pulled up or not, but they're very good player. They're always a good team. Indiana, I don't think I've ever seen Indiana as a bad team, like bad team. They're always middle tier. They're always like right there.
Yeah, he's a 5-star. He was a 5-star kid, Lander.
Yeah, he might be a problem. I know their last 5-star. I don't know if he was a 5-star. Romeo Langford.
He's in the league. He's in the NBA, I believe.
Yeah, he was a problem. I think he's with the Celtics still. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think that sounds right, actually.
Yeah, Romeo Langford was a 5-star. So I mean, they're always getting talent. Michigan, we just talked about, very good. Isaiah Livers. It is Franz Wagner. Eli Brooks is always a problem. It's a good Michigan team. Very good. They're playing in that battle for Atlantis, so they should get a couple losses early. They're going to be with Seton Hall, Gonzaga, UNC, and Oregon. Oregon going to be a killer team. I know people hate it because Eugene's eligible now, but they got him. They got Figueroa if he gets eligible. They got a UNLV transfer who's supposed to be pretty good. I was reading about someone else, I forget who, but that team is just influx of talent from the transfer portal. Kind of similar, I guess you could say, to the football program over here at Rutgers, but they're going to be very good. I think they're top 25. Iowa, I think Iowa's the Big Ten favorite. I don't see how you don't have them as a Big Ten favorite.
Oregon is number 9 in the AP.
Is that what it is? Number 9? Jeez, that's it's crazy. I know. Going back to Iowa, that's Luka Garza, the college phenom. Joe Wieskamp returns, average 14. CJ Frederick redshirted and averaged double digits. And Jordan Bohannon, can't forget about him. Yeah. He was supposed to be their best player last year and then got injured. So it's a very, very good Iowa team.
That was my vote to win.
How people aren't picking him or picking them number 1, I mean, I guess you can argue that maybe Michigan State's better coached. I think that's Iowa's biggest issue. I think their coaching is going to hold them back a little bit. and I'm sure Iowa fans watching this are going to be a little upset at me saying that, but
Well, actually, the media guys, they have Illinois at 1 and Wisconsin.
really
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they still have
interesting.
Ayo Dosunmu, Kofi Cockburn.
Kofi Cockburn's going to be very good. Is it?
Mm.
I think it's Cockburn, right?
I think it's Cockburn. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, he's going to be an NBA player too. I
Mhm.
can't see a way where he's. I think both of them actually declared and came back, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so there go. They're very good players. They're going to be. Brad Underwood's, I think, a pretty solid coach. He has I forget his assistant's name. He has an assistant from South Florida, I believe his name was, or from no, not his name. That he played for a coach at South Florida, and now he's up there. He's recruiting like crazy for them.
Yeah.
I can't remember his exact name. It's really annoying me right now that I can't remember anyone's name today.
They're recruiting at a high level recently. So
yeah, they're doing very good. Let's see. Oh, Orlando Antigua.
Similar to Rutgers, they play good defense, and they keep the score down, and
Yeah, Orlando Antigua, by the way. That's what I couldn't think of. They still have Georgie.
Yes, I believe so.
He was a very good player for them last year. He caused a couple fits here and there for teams. Don't remember what he did exactly against Rutgers. I had 3 of 13. Never mind. Yeah, but he caused some fits here and there.
Yeah,
and then who are we missing? Oh, Wisconsin. Yeah, Wisconsin's a very. They do this every couple of years. I think I think it's a senior heavy team.
Mm-hmm.
They always have those like spurts where they have every couple of years they'll have a very very good team. They'll take their off seasons. They still have Dimitri. What's his last name? Yes. I think he averaged double digits last year. There's someone else they have that averaged double digits. They're always well coached. They recruit well. You know what? They don't even recruit that well. They develop talent very well, which is very intriguing. It's a good coach.
They still have Nate Reavers.
Yes, Nate Reavers. They still have Michael Potter too. Micah Potter. Jeez, I can't talk.
I was looking at the he's Potter and Trice are receiving votes for all Big Ten. Reavers is in there in the top.
Of course, yeah. They're again very very good team.
Mm-hmm.
Not much more you could say about that. The Big Ten is just stacked. It's ridiculous.
It's a bear. There's no days off.
Are we missing anyone really? Any big names? Going through the list. We didn't name Marcus Carr. I don't even think. Oh, we talked about Minnesota, but Minnesota's going to be bad this year.
They got a guy in the draft. I know you were tweeting about him. I'm blanking on his name now too.
From
big guy. Osu. Oturu.
Yeah, I was kind of hyping him up a little bit to my buddy. So technically, the Knicks traded for him originally, I believe it was, but then they ended up flipping him again to I forget where it was like 3 trades on draft night. It was going from Minnesota, or no, he's going from the Knicks to Minnesota to I think he's the Clipper now. I'm not sure. I liked him last year. I think he was a very good player. I think he's a big reason Minnesota was as good as they are or were. I think he led the team with like 12 rebounds a game or something like that. A couple shot blocks, almost 3 per game, it says. All big defensive team, all big second team last year. Very good player. I really think it's going to be tough, I guess, because the Clippers are stacked beyond belief. Just like the Lakers, just like everyone else. It's going to be hard for him to play, but very good player. And losing him is going to hurt them a lot. So we'll see what happens there. I think that's pretty much everything. I think we covered everything Rutgers hoops. Obviously we're going to try to do more videos on hoops after games, or maybe I don't know, one a week because there's so many games that happen now.
Probably good idea. Yeah.
I mean, look at the first week. You're going to see 3 games. It's hectic. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a fun season. I think if you don't have BTN Plus, I can't say it enough. Get it, because you're going to want to watch these out of conference games, even if you buy it for a month. Yeah, that should cover at least whatever Sunday maybe is.
That should probably cover the non-conference, really, for the most part.
Yeah. So Sunday we don't know who they're playing. Maybe Ryder, maybe Wagner, maybe Seton. Who knows? But that game's got to be scheduled.
The game against FDU was on regular BTN.
Yeah, so that one's gonna be fun. Easy to watch, easy to get to, or whatever. It's Friday night, I believe. Saturday night.
Friday, yeah.
Friday night. So Friday night and then Sunday afternoon. I'm assuming. I don't know if we got a time for that.
I'm checking it right now. I don't think there was a time for the Sunday game either.
No, no time to be determined. But it
Yep.
looks like it's gonna be Sunday. Definitely. We don't know who. We don't know if it's that rider program. Like I said, they're bad. They're bad. They're very bad. This might be their worst program in years. I think someone else just said it on the board already. Like it's bad team.
Yeah, maybe I'll try and get an update for you guys, so you guys
Yeah.
before
Hopefully
the
we get
weekend.
something good. So hopefully some good news. Hopefully just a game in general. As long as it's not who they play last year? Campbell? No. Who's that
Um,
D3 program they
was
played?
that last year or was that 2 years ago? Was that last year?
I thought it was last year, but I
Um,
might be wrong.
I
It
think
was
that
in
was.
December.
Oh, they played Caldwell.
Caldwell, that's what Campbell Caldwell. Was it last year though?
Last year. Yep, 94-49.
Why you play that stupid game? You honestly, you just schedule like an FDU or something.
That's when Baker got hurt, and then Caleb
Yep,
started the next game against Nebraska.
yep. And, I mean, they still won. They won the next two actually. But
Yeah, Caleb went off
why
against
do you?
Nebraska.
Don't get me started. I'm not even gonna go. Actually, I'm not gonna go there. There's just no point to that game. You would have had 21 wins. You would have had another. Who cares if it's quad 4 win against FDU or Sacred Heart or Rider, Wagner, any of these? There's so many small schools around here that you should be able to find a game.
Right.
But regardless, last season, not talk about it too much.
Last season. So
Yeah, I think we got our MVPs in. We got our top freshman picks. Best,
if you guys have any questions about the hoops, no.
yeah, shoot them over. We'll try to get to them as soon as possible. If you guys are still watching this, running a promo right now.
Long
I
one
know,
too.
yeah, this is a long one. If you guys are still watching this, we have a promo going on. If you're not a premium member, sign up now. You get $25 off the premium membership. So it goes from $100 a year to $75, and you get a free $75 Adidas gift card. Doesn't expire, doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there with the code in your email until you use it. Use it for Rutgers gear. You can use it for that new Bone Mountain jersey that you're trying to get. Or I don't even know, a pair of shoes at this point. Get a pair of Yeezys. You know what? Use that 75. I know 75 is not going to cover much for Yeezys, but go get that pair of Yeezys you want.
It'll be a good holiday gift.
There you go. Yeah, you know what? Give it away. Give it to a family member that collects shoes or plays basketball at this point. I don't even know. Just get the gift card. Get the free gift card. Take it and do whatever you want with it.
If you're Rutgers fans, you'll want to be premium. So
yeah, we got a lot of stuff for hoops. I'm preparing. Like I said, I love numbers. I love stats. I'm going to be throwing up so much stats stuff this year. I found I'm going to use Synergy a lot for those of you that are big into hoops and big into numbers. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's similar to the PFF version of basketball. Shot charts, efficient field goal percentages. I'm still working on getting more efficiency ratings. It's a little bit harder than it is to find this stuff for college. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. This team, on top of that, this team's good. This is a good basketball team in the Northeast, and it's been a while, unless you count UConn. And I guess the last relevant Big East or Northeast basketball team is probably UConn when they won the chip with Ray Allen, I believe it was. And Carl Hobbs, Jim Calhoun, Pike. I think Pike part of the championship team, or I don't remember.
I don't know, but I know they won not too long ago.
Yeah. So they're going to be fun. Speaking of Ray Allen, Rutgers, Carl Hobbs, if you don't know, recruited Ray Allen to UConn, his main recruiter, just offered Ray Allen Jr. yesterday. So we're gonna have something on
the kids now almost.
It's insane. So we're gonna see if maybe Carl Hobbs has a little magic up his sleeve still, can pull it off round 2 of Ray Allen. I'm sure Ray's probably in his son's ear saying, "Hey, this guy we want to chip together. He recruited me." I know Damon has something coming. Damon Sales, our hoops recruiting analyst, has something coming up on him soon. It's actually it's intriguing. Like I said, it's an interesting story. Just going based off how now he's at the Big Ten level and now he's still coaching. So it's definitely fun. Other than that, I think that's it. I don't really have anything else to say. If you got anything else, our hoops.
Good. I mean, the rack's gonna look just like this, basically. So
very depressing. Don't bring that up. Hopefully they fix a little bit of that too. I hate that one area, like the whole concourse.
Yeah.
Just I would love for it to be a bowl, but it is what it is at this point. They'll invest eventually. I'm sure all these projects are on pause at the moment. Also, quick shout out to Hector. He's going to be our new. I don't know if you saw on Twitter. Hector's going to come on as our baseball recruiting analyst. He's big into baseball. He writes for I think the SB Nation site for the Miami Marlins. Nice little volunteer for us. He's going to help us out a lot. He knows baseball, and he doesn't know a ton about the Rutgers program. I kind of informed him a little bit about Steve Owens and his crew, how they're recruiting. He did a little look at the recruiting class, and you guys are going to be a little more shocked than you think. This program is going to turn around quick.
One thing I want to add up to that, I meant to add it to the board. One of their commits is from Franklin, and I talked to him last week or whenever signing day was. And I'll post it to the board so you guys can read it.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a very good program. They're gonna turn. Like I said, it's gonna be a quick turnaround. They're still got a couple of studs. You still got Rakowski in the rotation. I think Kevin Murray's still there, if I recall.
Yep.
Those are two very good starters. Their starting pitching's good. Their hitting needs a little work based on last year's 5 games. I
mean, they're doing a lot of transfers. A lot of people like Coach Owen, so that's focus on the guys.
We talked to him when we first got hired. It's a fun program. He knows what he's talking about. He knows. I like that he's more, again, numbers, analytically driven. He likes reading into that stuff. I love it too. Some coaches don't. I know Pikel's not a big fan of the plus minus. I've asked him quite a few times. I like it though. I mean, everyone has their opinion, but we'll see what happens. But
have a good mix.
Yeah, of course. But all right, I guess that's it, guys. TKR Tipoff Show. Get ready for some R Hoops Wednesday night, 7 p.m. BTN Plus. I'm sure we'll have a live game thread on the board. I have a Q&A coming with the Sacred Heart newspaper sports director, or whatever. I forget his term or his title, whatever. He sounded very informed to the program, and that's all I got.
Yeah, one thing real quick. I'm sorry. I know you're
good. No, you're good. You're good.
But also, the women's team plays Monmouth on Wednesday at 11 o'clock too. Steve Viv should have a really good team. We talked to them at media day too. Wrote up a big post on Aurelia Garancha. She's determined to win a Big Ten title this year. So we'll see what happens. They have a good recruiting class. There's a lot of freshmen this year, which will be interesting. So, but they're and Stringer is obviously a good coach. So
I know you brought it up. I had to talk about it real quick. That team is good. The team is very, very good. They have studs all throughout. Diamond Johnson is going to be phenomenal. I think she's number 7, 6 overall, whatever it was. Number 5. I forget. But do we know if the game's on TV or not?
You know what? I'm gonna guess like a BTN Plus type deal.
That's what I kind of figured. I'm looking at it now. BTN Plus 11 a.m. and then 7 p.m. later that night. Rutgers, Sacred Heart. I'm expecting 2 blowouts.
Have some breakfast with Rutgers and have some dinner with Rutgers.
There you go. All right, guys. All right, Rich Schnyderite, Chris Nalwasky, signing off. I'll talk to you guys soon.
I'll go, guys.